Here we are working on part 3 up here of problem 6.31, and we are now going to calculate the unit cost using weighted average. So we have the equivalent units, and we know our total costs, or we can figure out our total costs using this activity-based information for calculating our overhead. So let's go ahead and figure out our total costs, then turn that into unit costs. Alright, so we're going to do direct materials, conversion cost. We'll do them total, then divided into unit, total, then divided into unit, and then we'll figure out our total unit cost, which is what the question actually asks for. And in order to calculate our conversion costs, of course, conversion costs are labor plus overhead. So we don't really know the overhead because it's in that table with our activities, and we're doing activity-based costing of the overhead. So the activities and their drivers and the number of times we performed that driver is on that little table in the middle, and we'll get to that. So first of all, let's do our direct materials costs. So we figured our direct materials equivalent units, right? So we know it's 135, so we just need to take our total costs for direct materials and divide it by 135. So in the book, it tells us that direct materials for beginning inventory was 1,215,000, and that during the month they added 2,565,000. So if we add those two up, that's our total direct materials used, and then we can just divide that by our 130 to get 135 to get direct materials per unit. So total is equal to 1,215,000, right? That's the direct materials for the beginning work in process. And then our 2,565,000, which was added during the month. So that ends up, sorry, I'm going to have to break out my calculator. 1,215,000 divide, I'm sorry, plus 2,565. So we got 3,780,000. So to get per unit, 3,780,000 divided by 135,000 equals $28 per unit. So that's my direct materials cost per unit. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do, conversion costs, right? So that's direct labor, right, plus overhead. And we know that for the beginning inventory because they tell us, right? So direct labor 222.6, applied overhead 150. So the beginning inventory has, if you add those, 372,600. So now we got to figure out what goes there, right? What is the total conversion costs, which is direct labor plus overhead for the rest of it, right? So we know that in the book it gave us that little table, and it told us that for inspections the rate is $150 per inspection. So we had 4,000, so that is 600,000. Maintenance is 750 times 1,600. So 750 times 1,600 is 1,200,000. Receiving is $300 per receipt. And we got 2,000s, I'm sorry, so 3 times 2,000 is 600,000. Alright, and I'm going to erase that line. Direct labor, and they just tell us direct labor. So if you go and you look at direct labor, it's 3,471,150. 150, right? So if I add all those up, my conversion cost ends up being 5,871,150. All right, so that's my conversion costs for the whatever was not beginning work in process, right? So 5,871,150. All right. So 5,871,150 plus 372,600 equals 624,3,750 divided by our equivalent units. All right, because in conversion costs, those costs are getting spread over equivalent units of 124,875. And that is equal to 78. I'm sorry, 50. The total is going to be 78. That's equal to 50. Alright, just double check it. Alright, so my total unit cost, I'm going to take my direct materials, right, 28, plus my conversion cost equals 78. All right, so this is the answer to the question. The unit cost is $78 for the month of September. That means we had $3,780,000 of direct materials used. We had $6,243,750 of conversion cost used. You add them up, you divide them by their number of equivalent units. For direct materials, equivalent units was 135 because we had all of the units, got all their materials. And for conversion costs, we used the 124,875 equivalent units because not all of them were complete. And so we end up with $78. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is continue on with part 4 with the cost of goods, and I'll join you at that video soon.